Hello, welcome to the weather update. It's March the 7th, 9 o'clock. Finally saw a little more sun today, and it feels quite chilly tonight. So you can see the clouds that broke away for the afternoon, and then for a couple hours in the afternoon, we had some clear skies, and then clouds kind of came back in. You got this low that's rotating up here that's sending some more clouds down. You can see where the snow fell. Let's see if there are any snowfall reports from the Weather Service. So let's see what we have here from the Weather Service here as far as any snow. As far as any accumulation goes, I don't see any reports for any accumulation across the area. So I guess we just had a coating. I'll look at some of the observations here. So I guess we'll have to go into the climate outlook because they're not showing it. Let's go here. Islip, let's see if they reported any snowfall today. Believe it or not, we were still above normal. High was 49. That's 4 degrees above normal. The low is 31. That's 1 degree above normal. The average was 40. So 3 degrees above normal still for the day. Still above normal today at Islip. So let's see any snowfall reported here. Let's see if they actually talk about the snow here. I guess we didn't actually get any snowfall. I don't see anything. All right. We only have, all right, maybe 0.4 inch today, 0.4 inch. So there was 0.4 inch of snow at Islip. So they're reporting 0.4 inch. So that's it for the season. That's only 1.4. What was it? 1.4, I think, right, for the season. Okay, I clicked off of this, but let's go to the Central Park observation now. Let's see what they got. All right, so no snow. All right, 0.1 at Central Park. That's all they got was 0.1. That's it. That's all they got. That's all they got. So very little snow. Generally coating. Generally under an inch in most areas. You know, the ground was white in the morning, and then it just disappeared right away. You know, but at least we got some blue sky, and I was finally able to go see some pines for a little while this afternoon. Yes, finally. After not being in the pines for 3 weeks. But then the clouds came back in again. This is what the sky looked like. We had these like interesting looking clouds in the sky. I don't know what you call these. I guess stratocumulus, or maybe they're altocumulus, but really unusual looking shapes to the clouds. It was kind of cool. But anyway, the temperatures have dropped now. You can see it's 37 degrees. So let's start out in our area here, and you'll see the winds are pretty strong. It was very breezy today, and you can see, look at some of these wind gusts. Wow, a 55-mile-an-hour wind gust being reported at Stony Brook right now. I know that's at the top of the hospital, but still 55 miles an hour. That's impressive. 39-mile-an-hour wind gust at Islip. So these winds are really, really bad. As you see here, some really bad winds. And I thought I heard that there was a brush fire somewhere in New Jersey, southern New Jersey. I don't know. I think it was in Egg Harbor. Let's just do Egg Harbor Township. Yeah, we'll see if there's. I'll go to the news here, and let's see if there's anything here. Yes, there's a wildfire in a Little Egg Harbor town. Little Egg Harbor. It grows to 125 acres and shuts down Route 539. So there is a wildfire, but the good news is it has been contained. It did burn 418 acres in the Little Egg Harbor Township in New Jersey. So you get all the fires there. I don't know why we don't have any wildfires here. It's like, I don't know what it is. They seem to have a little more fires there. That's why it's more piney, but I mean, you know, it's just as windy here, if not more windy. But I guess it has to do with the amount of moisture. It's just drier there, I guess. But you can see here the conditions here. North-northwest wind at 28, gusting to 32 at JFK. Islip 34. North-northwest wind at 29, gusting to 39. So some pretty strong winds out there, and that's going to make it feel pretty cold out there. Well, with those strong winds, it actually feels like it should finally. It feels a little more like winter tonight, finally. During the day, though, it still felt kind of mild. But tonight, the temperatures have dropped. But you can see during the day, we were well into the upper 40s, overperformed with the temperatures yet again. We thought it would be in the low 40s to around 40, and we overperformed. The temperatures overperformed yet again. Not a surprise. So let's look at the highs for the day. and you will see highs generally in the upper 40s across Long Island. We were thinking it was going to be a lot lower than that. Upper 40s as well in New Jersey. And then in order to get a little cooler, you have to go find mid 40s up in northern New Jersey and then Connecticut. But other than that, I mean, above normal again. And this was the air mass we're working with is not all that cold, even though we have this north wind. There's no cold air, and I'll explain to you why. But you'll see here again, lows generally were in the mid 30s. With that wind, we're not going to see any radiational cooling tonight. And with the cloud cover, I don't know how far the temperatures will drop. We'll probably get below freezing. We'll have to look and see. But, the models have been off a lot lately with things. They've been off a tremendous amount with the highs. I mean, they overperformed like by 7 degrees. We were looking at the weather models last night, and they were saying that, I mean, they can't even get a hold of what's going on. It's pretty nuts when you think about it. It really is. So putting this back to the regular station plot, and again, I guess, can we do snowfall? I don't know. I don't think we can. It does not going to show snowfall, I don't think, on here. There is snowfall parameter. There is not. So I was hoping to see where there was some snow. But anyway, getting back and looking at the whole country here, you'll see the air is not that cold. I mean, you go up to Albany, all right, it's in the upper 20s. That's not that cold for them. Look, even in Canada, I mean, even in eastern Canada, we have low 20s, 25 around Ottawa. I mean, that's not that cold. So there's no, this is not Arctic air at all. None of this air is cold. Going across the country here, you'll see it looks like they got winter storm watches in effect for Wisconsin and Iowa and parts of Nebraska. Not into Nebraska, but mostly Iowa and Wisconsin. So you can see there, but again, not that cold. Mid 30s. I mean, there's no cold air, no really cold air anywhere. And if you go to the south, obviously it's warm there. They got 70s. And then look at the west. Here we go again. We're still dealing with, this is the problem. So again, we got flood watches in effect because now there are going to be more storms crashing into the west. That we have still this and snow in the mountains again. Got winter storm warnings. Another storm for the west coast. We're going to look at all this when we get to the models. Looking at the current weather map right now, you'll see here we've got this broad area of high pressure over us, but the high is actually way up in Canada. All right, the center of it. So we're kind of on the edge of it between that and this low offshore. So that's cranking the winds up. See, there's a stationary front across the south. Here's the next low pressure system that is developed here in looks like around Oklahoma. Heavy rain, flash flooding possible in this area here, and then some snow in the northern edge of it. Mixed precipitation actually, and you can see snow likely in the North Dakota, South Dakota, and then more for the again. Here's just a parade of lows just coming in to the west coast. I moved it along. Here's day 2. This is day 1, day 2. Usually don't show you this whole thing, but you can see this mess here that you see in the midsection of the country. We're going to have to deal with that on the weekend. So as far as severe weather goes, I don't think we have to worry about any of that. I can look at the Storm Prediction Center. I don't think so. I don't think we have any. Well, I guess I was wrong. There's a marginal risk in Texas and Oklahoma. Just a marginal risk right now. But when you go to this here, thunderstorm outlook here, 40% chance of severe weather there. And if we look at the radar for the whole country, it says here at the top here, new atmospheric river occurring. I think I covered this yesterday. Some more of the atmospheric river events again occurring. So this is, there is some thunderstorms there around Oklahoma City. And then as you go into the west, you see, here's that next system coming in. Looks like it's coming into Eureka right now. So because of this, and we explain to you why we're not getting the cold weather. Even though we have north winds and it feels cold out there, we were still above normal today. So you see here in the model, here is the model right here, and you can see the big high pressure system that is over Canada, and you see this low out in the ocean. If I actually let's do the North American view because this kind of shows you a little better. See that low out. So the gradient between this high and this low is bunching the isobars up. And that is creating the wind that we're dealing with right now. And that wind will continue. So looking at the GFS here, you'll see that we stay dry, but we're staying in the wind. You can see that very strong. Those bunched isobars continue tomorrow, very tight winds. We're on the edge of that high. That high is not really coming down. It's just a little ridge of it that's coming down right here into the middle part of the country again. All right, you can see that here continuing on Thursday. And so we're dry Thursday, Friday, and then things get a little more interesting as we head toward the weekend. This storm system is going to affect us here, and we have to watch to see. The tracks are all over the place. We don't really have any really cold air around, so if there's any snow from this, it's going to have to be very intensity-based, and it's going to be very hard to do. So we're probably looking at more or less rain here at this point. Though it could wind up ending as snow. It's a little more progressive now than it was. It's moving in a little faster now, more like Friday night. And then you can see here, look at that low just winding up there offshore quite intensely there. But no, this wouldn't amount to much of a storm for us at all. And you see, you keep your eye on the west. It's just one after another, after another, after another, after another. And because of that, this really doesn't allow any of the cold air to come on down. You can see it looks like another soaker here right around March 22nd with that track, and then look another one. So it's just, you can see it's just a parade of systems. All right, looking at the surface. I want to go to this view here so you get a better. So this is that high. See that high kind of stays. It doesn't. We don't actually. It's just an edge of the high pressure system, which may make it tough to get sunny skies because of that. All right, we did get a little sunshine today, but whether we're going to have a sunny day from front to back, with that, it's hard. All right, because the high is staying up there. That's the problem, because you need a ridge on the west coast to bump this high down and to have the jets to have a really decent trough in the east. Even though we have the blocking, we don't have the Pacific cooperating with us. All right, so you can see that high stays up there. And it stays that way pretty much. We don't really get any highs that are coming straight down from Canada. We get edges of highs, but not really. And then as you go toward the end of the period, you'll see that the block also fades. So let's look at the jet stream here. All right, so here's the jet stream, and here's your problem. A zonal jet, more or less, across, you can see a very, light little trough across the east, but generally zonal jet, and this is just going to continue. You can see the fire hose is now in play as we get into the end. Look at that. The fire hose is back. The Pacific fire hose is back. So it never really went away completely, but the problem is that you need a ridge in the west to really bump the cold air down, and we're not seeing that. We're not seeing that. And, we're going to be, even though, and the model said we'd be below normal today, which makes me wonder if we really are, how much we're really going to be below normal. So let's look at the upper air. So this is the upper air here, and you'll see here's the upper air. All right. You see there's that offshore storm again, that huge offshore storm there. It cranks even more tomorrow. Gets even more intense and really just keeps that wind going. You see the block over Greenland. But the problem is this. So if you want the cold air, to come on down, and I mean actual cold air, Arctic air, if you want that to come down, you need a ridge in the west. And instead, we have a trough in the west. All right? We have a trough in the west. That's not going to help us. All right? All right? We need that ridge, because when you have the ridge in the west, on the west coast like this, the flow is coming down out of Canada. But we're not seeing that. What we're seeing instead is we have this trough, so we have the flow going like this. The air is not coming from Canada. It's really Pacific air. Maybe it's coming from southern Canada, but it's not really cold air. It's not Arctic air. Even called Canadian air is a stretch of the imagination. All right, so that's why, we're not seeing any bitter cold. That's the problem. So let's move this along here. And you'll see here comes this is the weekend system. You see that low right there, obviously. Again, the trough's not deep enough to really push that thing to the right position so we get a snowstorm. Again, we don't have enough cold air for that snowstorm anyway. All right. We do see troughiness in the east. We do see troughiness in the east. And you'll see that'll keep things stormy, and maybe chances for snow and below normal perhaps. But without a huge ridge in the west, you see the cold air shut off. So let's, should I even look at the European? I mean, let's go to the temperature anomaly chart. We're going to do it this way, so you can see where the cold air is and stuff, and why we're not getting any cold air. You're wondering why the wind's screaming out of the north. But you can see most of Canada is warm. Most of Canada is above normal. You want to see those purples. You're not seeing that. Seeing a little bit of it right here, all right, but it stays in that spot. It doesn't really make its way over here, and it's shut off. Even though we've had the polar vortex collapse, we're not seeing any of the cold air. If we go to the northern hemispheric view, which will go all the way here, actually there's not a whole lot of cold air to go around anywhere, really, to tell you the truth. You don't see a whole lot of below normal temperatures anywhere, for that matter. All right. If we look at the actual temperatures, here, this kind of shows you what we got here. This is going to be a little hard because I don't want to kind of be over here. We'll have to move this back to the North American view. You'll see the cold air is just, if you got to go up to Alaska or the Northwest Territories, even Eastern Canada is warm. But you can see most of it's just over there, and it's mostly in Siberia. It's just not, there isn't as much cold air to go around to begin with. So that's the problem we're facing. A warmer Arctic, you don't have as much cold air to go around. So let's now I'll go back to the upper air, and we're going to go look at the European next. And we'll look at the 12Z European run, because I don't think the 18Z is, well, actually we can use the 18Z. It should take us far enough as far as the next storm goes. So similar situation here. You have an agreement here. And, I mean, the Euro and the GFS look pretty similar at this point. There's that low again. I mean, it's just, you need it to track further south, and you need more cold air to get a snowstorm out of it. So that's why I don't think some people are getting excited about this. I don't think it's going to happen. So let's go look at the icon, which mirrors the European, and we'll go to the surface map for the icon. We'll see what the icon is going to do with this storm here for the weekend. It does redevelop it a little further south. It actually just has it miss us. The good news is at least the models seem to be trending more progressive with this, so whatever precipitation we have, it shouldn't last all day on Saturday, ruining Saturday. Right now, it looks like that's going to be more progressive in nature. So let's take a closer look at our area, and we're going to go over the HRRR model. Look more at the short range now that we kind of looked at the long range. So obviously, we won't have to worry about any precipitation, though. If you're on the Cape, you might be dealing with a couple of showers because, again, they have this low just swinging arms of disturbances around it. All we'll see here from that is clouds. But we do stay dry for the most part through the period. Looking at our dew points and wind flow, north winds continue tonight, north to northwest. You see the dew points they actually come up tomorrow. So we have lower dew points, but the dew points actually come up tomorrow. They rise into the 20s, which is not all that low. And then still not seeing Thursday. The dew points stay in the mid-20s. That's not all that low. That's why I need this specific air. Because normally if you have cold air, your dew points are at least in the teens. Dew points in the 20s is not that cold, not even Canadian air, really. So let's look at the air temperatures now on the HRRR. And we know it underdid it today. And tomorrow it has us, again, looking like mid-40s. I think we'll see more like upper 40s again. If you're in Jersey, close to 50. So I think it's underdoing it. I'll have to look at the GFS. Do we even go below freezing tonight? Maybe we'll make it below freezing. Maybe we'll make it down to 30 degrees. It has it warmer overnight into Thursday. And then for Thursday could be 50 degrees already. Close to 50 already. So we're above normal again. All right. So it just, let's now go to the GFS. Well, first, actually, before I even do that, let's look at the soundings for tomorrow. And so we'll just pick a sounding right around noon, 17 to Z. noon. We'll first pick islip. The reason why I'm doing the soundings is to show you the issue with cloud cover. So you can see, look at how close these two lines are. And again, this is the problem. You want to have a decent spread between these two lines. If you don't have a decent spread between these two lines, you're going to have a problem with the cloud cover. And that's why I think we're going to be dealing with some clouds tomorrow. At least it looks like on Long Island. Let me put that same sounding over New Jersey. Maybe that one will look a little better. It's still not great. This is close together. That's not good at all. So that is not good at all. So that's close together. So we may have to be dealing with clouds tomorrow just to try to get a clear day. You may have some periods like today where it'll be mostly sunny, but have it most of the day sunny and clear. It's hard because, again, this is Pacific air we're dealing with. It's not actually it's not cold air. You may feel cold because of the wind, but it's not really cold, dry air. Let's now move this along, and I'll move this along now to Thursday. We'll see if these soundings look any better for Thursday, right around noon. Do islip. Nope. Close together. What about Milton's? Close together again. So this is the problem we're dealing with. And we're going to be dealing with these clouds. It's going to be a pain in the neck. It looks like, at least according to the HRRR, it's not too encouraging. Let's go to the GFS next. You can see the GFS here for Wednesday. We'll go to the dew points and wind flow and see if the dew points are same thing. Again, the dew points actually go up. They go up. And you can see the winds from the north here. So I don't really need north winds for Thursday. Friday. And then Friday you can see the winds shift off to the south. There's your storm. Departs, and then maybe Sunday we try to get some of that drier air, and see, this is what we need. These purples is what we need. That's the cold air. Are we going to see any of that come into our area? Maybe next week. I don't know. It doesn't look great. That's all I got to say. So let's go look at the temperatures on the GFS here, and we'll also pull up some soundings as well. Compare it, because I'm sure we're going to have the models disagree. So tomorrow, obviously, mid-40s. Maybe upper 40s. We may overperform again. Like I said, we were close to 50 today, which I totally wasn't expecting in the afternoon. As I was walking the pines, I'm like, it's warm out here. Even though it's breezy, it's warm. Thought it was going to be cold. And then probably 50 for Thursday. And then Friday, we'll have the clouds coming in, so it might be a little cooler, ahead of the next system. And then cooler because of the storm, the clouds on Saturday. Whatever the storm that will be there. It's too early to tell right now. Sunday, again, looks like could be colder Sunday, maybe 30s. But again, the models, even the GFS, they just all underestimating the warmth here going on. We thought we'd have a more cold air. It does show below normal temperatures, though. The GFS does show that. But it could be the same deal again with the Pacific air that's always thinking that it wants to make it colder than it actually turns out to be. So I'll have to see. Let's look at some soundings. All right, all I have this is the regular GFS. We'll do the sounding for islip. These lines are a little close together. It's a little more encouraging on the GFS. Let's put it over Miller Air Park. Right, look at that. They're pretty much joined together there almost. That's a cloud deck right there. They're very close. All right. Let's look at tomorrow. Let's look at Thursday. See if Thursday is any better. Yeah, they're still kind of close together, those lines. Let's go ahead and look at. Yeah, see those lines are close together. So that's what I mean. I don't know if any of these days are going to be mostly sunny, and I'm really disappointed about that. I really am. And then Friday, obviously, we'll have the high clouds roll in. So let's go look at the cloud cover model now. All right. See the cloud cover. You see, this doesn't show a whole lot of cloud cover here. It actually shows it mostly sunny, and you're thinking this looks great. But when we did the soundings, you'll see that, again, the soundings show, look at how close these lines are. They're a little further apart for Ocean County tomorrow versus Long Island, I think. Let's see. Yeah, they're kind of close together. Not quite there, but they're close together. All right. And then for Thursday, it's showing again. Both days you look at this, you're like, oh, it's mostly sunny. Well, I don't know why it's saying that, because look at that. That's a cloud right there. The temperature and the dew point are almost together there at 800 MB. So, 800 height. So, I mean, I don't know why it's not showing a cloud there. I think if we go to the FV3, I think that would show the clouds. So let's do that. Let's go to the FV3, and of course that's the 0Z run, which you don't have enough of it. So let's go to the 12Z run. And the 12Z run also not showing much in the way of clouds, except those clouds moving in over eastern Long Island there. All right, for Thursday, it's doing the same thing as Wednesday, with developing the clouds in the afternoon over the east end, and then kind of having them work their way west. Let's go to the RGEM, which will be the next model to use here. The model I prefer to use for cloud cover. You'll see it has a lot of cloud cover tonight, but then it gets rid of it by tomorrow morning. But then it still has a little cloud cover around Long Island, not as much over New Jersey. And then for Thursday, it has less in the way of cloud cover all over. And then Friday, obviously, it's going to roll that cirrus in on us. So those are all the cloud models. I can look at the NAM as well. You should have the 0Z NAM to look at as well for cloud cover. And again, it's showing mostly sunny tomorrow. It's showing mostly sunny. I can do a sounding with this too. Let's see. Let's see if they may not be available. Oh, look at how close these are. Temperature and dew point are very, very close at these heights. That's a really, I don't know why they're not forming clouds. That's what I don't understand with the temperature and dew point so close together at those levels. And then for Thursday, maybe we're a little better off. Put it over ice slip. Let's see if we even have it. Still close together. So we'll have to watch the cloud development. I think there'll be more sunshine than today, hopefully, but will it be a mostly sunny day, or we're going to have these clouds pop up on us? It's always a possibility. The other story, of course, is the wind. We've been talking about the wind, so I'm going to go to the event to sky with the wind gusts again because of this pressure gradient. You'll see, look at these wind gusts. So let's go into tomorrow now, Wednesday. Let's see if it gets any better with these wind gusts. 31, 32 miles an hour still in the morning. Still seeing pretty strong wind gusts. A little less off to the west, not by much. Let's go by noon. It backs off a little bit into the mid-20s. It's still pretty windy. 3 o'clock, still pretty windy out there. Let's go now over to Thursday. You can see the wind slow down on Thursday. We see wind gusts still breezy, but not quite as windy as it has been. And again, we're looking at wind gusts. So let's go back this up to Wednesday, and I'll use, this is the HRRR cloud cover model. All right, so here's the HRRR cloud cover model. Starting off 10 o'clock tomorrow, it does have it mostly sunny. Well, it does have a 20% over Long Island. Let's move this to noon. And you can see it's got even more clouds developing out over Long Island, particularly Suffolk County, and some over New Jersey as well around noon. This is again tomorrow. And then as we move this along to 2 o'clock, you can see Suffolk County is pretty much socked in with clouds, and a few clouds over New Jersey and a few over here as well. Let's move this to Thursday. I feel like this is the icon. Yeah, this is too far along. This is outside of the... Oh, here's one shot. Here's one from the HRRR. You can see a decent amount of clouds around. We don't have dry air. We don't have a good column of dry air. The air... This is Pacific air. This air actually came from the Pacific. It came in over the Pacific Northwest, went over the northern tier of the United States, and now it's here. It's not even from Canada. It's not really cold air at all, so that's why I don't have too much hope of getting a clear sky. But we'll see. Maybe we will. But one thing's sure, the temperatures will definitely not be... it feels cold tonight, but once the sun comes out tomorrow, whatever the case is, it's going to rise. And you'll have those clouds pop up. Probably you'll start off with the sun, and the clouds will pop up. And you can see this is. Let's go to Wednesday here. And you can see it's showing 40. This is underdoing it. It's going to be warmer than this. 45, maybe 45 around 2 o'clock. All right, maybe closer to 50 in New Jersey. Thursday, we're going to probably be near 50, and then probably low 50s. Again, I mean, this is not cold weather. Cold would be 30s. All I wanted is 30s. I can't even get 30s. We got mid 40s, and just be glad with that. I mean, that's just average for this time of the year. But I guess, like I said, for those of us who want winter, we're going to have to wait for next winter. Right now, because as far as getting any bitter cold in here, I know everybody talks about. Wanting a snowstorm. I just want bitter cold and can't even get that. So, and God knows it's going to be bad with the beetles and the bugs and all this other stuff because of this warmth. Let's go to the sea surface, the ice data center for the last part of this weather update. and we'll talk about the Arctic sea ice news and analysis. Transition time throughout February, Arctic sea ice extent tracked between second and fourth lowest in satellite record, while the Antarctic tracked at record low extents. So sea ice is below normal. Again, not a surprise as we deal with this ever-warming planet. Like I said, there's just less winter to go around, so less people are going to get it. People who get it are going to, have a pretty, you're going to have cold, or in California they got a lot of snow. But for those of us who don't get it, we're going to be dealing with just this warm crap that we got to deal with. Back to tropical tidbits. We'll just look at the GFS one more time. Here, let's go to the GFS, and we will go and we'll look at the storm for the weekend again. This is the storm again that's going to come in, and you can see here, there it is right there. The temperatures are literally can barely make it happen. All right, look at these temperatures. I mean, you're above freezing. How are you going to get snow if you're above freezing? I mean, it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. The only way you're going to get it is if it comes down heavy enough to cool the column down. That's what we saw before, but it still won't amount to all that much. Let's see what total snowfall the GFS is, and of course, it's not really showing much of anything. Showing maybe an inch or two at most. All right, and mainly on the grassy surfaces again with these borderline temperatures. And if we look at the dew points, you'll see the dew points inside themselves aren't even that low. They're above freezing. So it's going to be hard to make anything happen. Icon. Oh, it doesn't. Icon does not give the temperature. We'll go with the icon next. So this is the icon here. You can see it forms a little further to the south, but again, kind of takes the precipitation with it. And again, there's no real cold air to work with here. That's the problem. You see, look at this. We're above freezing. It's not consistent with what you need. We'll go to the European model next. This only takes us to 12Z on the European. All right, only 12Z. All right, and again, it has it's a little more. It has it going a little not in the optimal spot. All right. Well, this is 4070 actually. This is 4070 would be over here, so it's not quite in the right spot. It's a little too far south, so it's going to be hard to make a big snowstorm happen. We won't feel we're going to see any more snow at all, let alone any bitter cold, because I don't think we have any less chance of that. So I guess that's going to wrap up this weather update. Again, hopefully at least we can get some clear skies in here. But again, looking at the satellite and all the clouds that are around and all the moisture, I don't know. Let's just take one more look at the satellite before I wrap up this weather update. Let's do. I want to do the Canadian. I just want to show the storm. I guess we'll just have to go to a U.S. Atlantic coast. Do this one. Hey. All right, here we go. So just to show you the storm here. Still can't really see it too well. But it's way out over here. It's way out over here. But you can see it's intensifying. So we're stuck between that and this little finger, this little ridge. So you got this low right here. Draw this out for you here. This low right here. Like right over here probably. Maybe a little more over there. And then you got this ridge of high pressure that's trying to build down. This little ridge here, like this. This ridge is trying to build down, all right? But you got this squeeze play here, all right? The high's way up in Canada, way up. It's past where I'm drawing it. And you got this low that's deepening, so it's causing these strong winds, and that's why the winds are so gusty, and we'll continue to be that way tomorrow. We'll see some respite by Thursday. But that's going to wrap up this weather update. You can see why with the satellite that looks like this and all these clouds swinging down. It's really going to be hard to get a clear sky. We'll have to see. Nice sunny day would be nice. At least we got a little taste of it today. So that's going to wrap up this weather update. Thank you for watching and have a good night.